Thanks for joining us once again for an update from the city of New Hope. Time to chat with the mayor to find out what's new in the city and what's coming up. Welcome, Mayor Hemken. How are you today? And love the picture. Tell us the story.
Hi, Dave. I just needed flowers. So this is a picture I took in Vancouver a couple years ago. If you look real close, there's a little bug sitting over my shoulder. And that was actually on the flower when I took the picture. It wasn't by accident. I took that on purpose, but I just needed flowers in the background.
It looks very nice. Just watch out for that bee there. It looks pretty big on this end of the screen here. All right, let's give you an update of what's new in New Hope. First, let's talk a little bit about the first election of the year that just occurred. How did things go? What were some of the numbers?
Well, this was the presidential primary, so you had to indicate which party you were going to vote in that primary. We only had a 15% turnout, but my staff has just been fabulous. So the bunch of the gals that worked on actually doing the election, plus Public Works was delivering all the equipment. They came and took it back. Just a coordination of everybody involved to get this election to go. The next one is until August, so I'll keep you informed on when that's going to be.
Very good. Let's move ahead to community development. A lot happening here, as you might expect, as we head into spring. The first is ribbon cutting, one at a business that does a very unique business. Tell us about where the ribbon was cut.
Well, it's called Medical Manufacturing Technology, and they're in the Science Center Drive area. Oh, it's just a beautiful remodel that they did to a building. And what they do is they go to the manufacturers of these big equipment that hospitals need to make some of the stuff that they put in our bodies, like catheters and probes and things like that, so that hospitals don't have to go to all these manufacturing companies. They can just go to this one place. So they're new to New Hope. We're really excited to have them. We asked them why they came to our side of the 169 as opposed to Plymouth side, because that's where most of their customers are. And they said they like New Hope. So I'm happy to have them. So the other ribbon cutting was at the Marathon gas station. They're actually calling it the New Hope Super Stop, but to us, it's the Marathon gas station on Bass Lake Road in Winnetka. So that is now open. I had their chicken. It's just fabulous. So stop in and see them, even if you don't need gas.
All right, welcome to both of the businesses. Here's a partner that the city works with. You wanted to mention a little bit about Elevate Hennepin. What is it and what are they doing within the city?
Well, Elevate Hennepin is a program that's helping small businesses either get started or continue, or if they have some questions. So it's a free service. We've had 3 people since the beginning of the year, 3 businesses getting 24 hours of free services. And what they do is they'll give you some accounting principles. If you need some legal just advice or how to do a business plan, Elevate Hennepin, and it's free. Just a little side thing, I'll tell you a little bit more about it, but they're coming to our business networking group in April.
A chance to find out a little bit more. We've been talking quite a bit over the past couple months about the partnership with Hennepin Technical College and the street banners, and they're finally here and up, and they look beautiful.
They are. Thank you to our Public Works Department. They got those all up. They look very, very nice. I did ask about the old ones because I thought, wouldn't that be fun to have one? And he says they're really gunky. So I think they're just going to get rid of them because they've been up for a few years and they get kind of worn.
So take your time to drive around town and look at those new banners that are up. Single family conversions to rental, a number the mayor keeps us up to date on. What is the latest that's happening with this number?
Well, since the beginning of the year, we've had 4 go from single family to rental, and 3 went back from rental to single family. So in the last quarter, it's actually been pretty even. Enough went there to rental, and enough came back to single family owner occupied. So it pretty much just fluctuates back and forth.
There's a new employee that has come to town working in housing and code enforcement as an inspector. Introduce us to this new person.
Well, his name is Chris Audette, and he comes with just a wealth of knowledge. So he pretty much stepped into the job and he's hit the ground running. So we're welcoming Chris to our team.
Time to take a look at scattered site housing, some of the houses that are moving up and around through the city. And the first is 3611 Louisiana. And this house is looking very good. You see a picture here. What's the latest status, Mayor?
Just a few little touches, but the house is sold. They're gonna close on it at the end of April. Most of these houses sell before they even get built.
Let's go to the corner of 42nd and Boone. We have two houses there, and the second house is the one we're looking at today, and it is moving right along as well.
It is. The south house just needs a few updates, a few little things done to it, but they actually were pouring cement on the north house, so that's starting to come out of the ground. I understand that both of the houses already have signed purchase agreements on them.
Let's move up to 5692 Boone Place. This is up just north of Bass Lake Road. How is that property moving along? And it sounds like things are coming together.
They are. So we're going to close on the property the end of April with the builder. The builder tells us he has a client who has signed a purchase agreement on the house that's going there.
And a few final houses going up on 50th Avenue. That is just off of Winnetka. And what are those houses currently doing?
Okay, that's the house that we actually had we started it on fire to train the fire department. So those lots will go on the market. Two builders, they sent them out to quite a few builders, and then what happens is the builders come back with their proposals. We'll pick the proposal, and they have until the latter part of March to get those proposals back to us.
You mentioned earlier the business networking group and a special guest they have coming up. Tell us a little bit more about the date, time, and location.
April 3rd, 8:30 in the morning. A guy by the name of Tony, who owns a business called Tony Goes There. Basically, he's a driver. He wants women to be safe when they get an Uber or a Lyft. He is the Uber or the Lyft that'll take you places. So he'll be there. He's hosting the meeting. Elevate Hennepin will also be there. So if you happen to be a small business and you want to know what Elevate Hennepin does, this is a good time to come in and just see the presentation that they're giving out and see if that's something that you need for your business.
One final note from community development, and that is the permit and inspection count. Another number you're keeping your eye on what has happened over the past month or so.
I don't know how these guys do this. They've issued 555 permits and inspections in the month of February. Half of those are building permits and the inspections that go with it. The other half is code enforcement. With the building permits they issued, it was 1.6 million just for the month of February. These guys are really busy.
Busy time of the year. Let's hop ahead to police department. A busy time of year for them as well. And they've got some hiring going on. How is that process moving?
So we needed an overnight clerk in the police department. We got 23 applicants. So they scored them, and now they're starting to do some interviews on the ones that they're interested in interviewing. We should have a new clerk in a couple of weeks.
And a couple other notes about the police department. They are always out getting involved with other agencies. Tell us about some of the work that's happened outside of the New Hope community recently.
Well, they're doing police work all the time, but they're also doing a lot of meeting with the community. My police chief met with the Hennepin County Sheriff, and one of my captains went to the Hennepin Chiefs Association meeting. So they're always trying to build relationships with other areas, because when there's an incident, it's all hands on deck.
Let's go ahead to Public Works, talk about what they're doing in the springtime and a little bit of extra work without the snow. But you mentioned earlier the election, and really something you don't think about, but they play a big part in this to make sure the right pieces are in the right places.
They do. They pick up all this equipment after it's been tested at City Hall, bring it to all the polling places, set it up, and then when the election's over, they go back and pick it up, bring it back to City Hall, help to dismantle it, get it put away. So they've been really busy doing that. The other thing they're doing is they're checking and flushing and cleaning the sanitary sewer areas that are of concern. And they installed the new banners. Now, the other thing that's happening in Public Works is the yard waste site is opening April 1st.
Mhm.
That's the one in Maple Grove. And keep in mind that we've got those 2 new snow plows and we haven't used them, but one day maybe we will, because remember that the high school basketball tournament's coming up, and it always snows during that.
Anything
So
can happen. All right.
we're gonna name those 2 snowplows. People need to submit names, and then we'll have the public vote on them.
Very nice. Let's move ahead to Park and Rec. They are changing seasons here too, and it sounds like some of the specific programs are starting up spring classes.
Well, the spring youth gymnastics program has already started. There's an adult yoga and Zumba class that are starting this week too. So they're really, really busy. They tell me that the registration for the summer programs has started, and lots of people signing up for them. The swim lesson programs have started, and apparently there's 2 classes that are already full. Just reminding people this might be a really good time to get a gift card for those Easter baskets, just to help defray some of the costs of that. So we're also recruiting summer staff to come in. So that's a biggie, to get them in and then to get them trained. So even though it doesn't seem like much is happening, a lot is happening.
Yep.
And the summer brochure came out with the cutest picture I've seen in a long time.
There you go, right there.
It should have been in your mailbox. If you didn't get one, you can go into City Hall and pick one up. These classes fill up quickly. Now's the time to sign up if you haven't already for the camps that happen when the kids are off for spring break in March. So get in there and sign up. If you need some financial aid, you can get that through the city. They'll pay for half of a class. Bring your driver's license in and they'll just sign you up. You don't have to prove anything.
All right, here's that website, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more about the Park and Rec and all of those great opportunities coming up there. Let's talk about a grant that came to the city, with the partner being Hennepin County. What type of dollars are we talking about, and how will it be used?
Well, we got a $5,000 Hennepin County grant for Find Your Five, which is a program where they want you to eat 5 fruits or vegetables every day, and you kind of keep track of that. And the other program we're going to use the money for is Paso de Paso. And that is actually the old Step To It program. They just kind of changed the name a little bit. So we're going to use that money to get some water bags for the fruit trees at Little Acre Park. We'll also use it for some shade trees that we're putting in the park.
Speaking of trees, let's talk about the ash trees and the work that's happening all throughout a number of different departments in the city. What's the latest there? Well,
we have a city forester, and you can reach him by calling the City Hall number and asking for the forester. His job is to go and put a big orange dot on all of the boulevard trees that need to come down, the ash trees. If you think you have a boulevard tree that doesn't have an orange dot and you think it's dead, call the forester. He'll come out and look at it. If in fact it needs to have the orange dot and come down, he'll do that. So he's also planning the spring planting schedules right now, which he's really busy doing that. I understand he's visiting with residents too, who have an ash tree and they're not really sure what to do about it or how to treat it if it needs to be treated. So use our forester. That's what he's there for.
Let's take a moment to talk about the 3 big park and rec facilities within the city and to see how things are going there. The first is the golf course. And again, they're very happy with opportunities for people to golf already.
Well, this last weekend they were open again and full. However, the golf course isn't real green yet, but it's getting there. No carts are allowed because it's just too soggy for that. But I should tell you that when you hit the ball, it really rolls a long ways.
Yes, a little help at this time of the year. That's
a
nice.
Little help with that. So they told me that they would stay open now, weather permitting. The only thing that would hold them back from being open is if the greens freeze over, and then they have to wait till that defrost before they'll open. So if you're thinking of playing, especially on the weekend, you've got to have a tee time because they've really been filling up quickly.
Good advice. Let's head over to the ice arena. They are transitioning a little bit, still have a lot going on, but it sounds like one rink about ready to get a little tender loving care.
Well, the Mites played their tournament this last weekend, and that's always a fun thing to do. The adult league, the adult hockey leagues, are playing on Saturday and Sunday night, so they're still playing. There's a rental coming on Thursday. I don't know what it's called exactly, homeschool, I guess, who is renting the ice. But they're going to start taking the ice out on the north rink. They have to take that ice out so they can paint the floor, and then they'll start putting it back in. And this is a good time to do that. They call it the shoulder season. Not a lot of business going on at the ice arena, so it's a good time for them to do some of this work they need to do.
One big event, though, coming up still, and that is on March 16th. And it looks like the skating school is going to show all the fun that they have to people for free.
Oh, that is so fun. It's the 16th of March. It'll be on the South Rink from 12 to 1. And if you haven't been to see one, it's really cute. Even the little guys are out there skating. So I've been the mayor a long time, and I've watched some of these kids from the time they were 3 or 4, and now they're 17, 18 years old, and oh my goodness, the difference in them.
That
So
is
if
fun.
you're around on the 16th, from 12 to 1, the South Rink at the Ice Arena.
Well, as the temperature hits 60 some of these days, people having dreams of getting in the pool. Not quite that time yet, Mayor, but they're in prep mode. What are they doing at the pool to get ready for the season?
Well, I understand they're in the pool caulking it. So apparently they need to caulk the joints, but they're hiring. So if you're interested in working at the pool, this is the time to apply because they're getting full up pretty quickly. It was interesting. They said 78% of the staff that we had last year are returning, and that's just a huge amount. For those who don't know, the Crystal Pool will be closed this year for some repairs. So come over to the New Hope Pool and see what you think.
Sounds fun. Let's move ahead to human resources. A little more hiring going on here. This is for a position with accounting. How is that position process moving?
We needed an accounting technician to replace the gal who is actually going to replace our city clerk. And so we do try to hire from within whenever we can. They posted that job internally. We didn't get 2 qualified candidates for that. So they posted it externally. We got 31 applicants for it. So now they're in the process of scoring those applicants, and they'll start interviewing probably next week.
All right, a couple final notes to pass along. Some things you might have seen on the website or in the media. The first is related to compost bins and rain barrels. So again, people thinking about spring already.
So go onto the New Hope website. You can see both of those are being sold there. It'll tell you the size and the price and how to buy them if you're interested in doing that. There's all kinds of good stuff on that website.
And again, it's newhopemn.gov. You see the website at the bottom of the screen. Another thing coming up is a food drive, and West Metro Fire Rescue is a big partner in this, where they're going to be out collecting food.
So they have their firefighters and volunteers go out to Hy-Vee and the fire stations, and you can either put a check or cash in one of their booths, or if you go into Hy-Vee, buy an extra few things in the grocery store and bring them out. They donate all this food to the near food shelf. And actually, the near food shelf is in Crystal, but it serves residents from 42nd on north of the city. So it's all going back to our city. It just, the food shelf is in Crystal.
Very nice. And that's on Saturday, March 16th is the date of all of that fun to help out. Another date to remember, a date range here is April 1st to the 11th. What happens during that period of time, Mayor?
Well, that's our curbside pickup, and it's in New Hope and Crystal. They're supposed to be sending out a postcard to tell you what date. I found that there's a map they send out. You really can't tell the date. So if you go onto the website that's on the screen and put in your address, it'll tell you what date. I believe the 8th of April is a lot of the dates for the New Hope area, but because we're so long and skinny, I don't know that that's for everybody. So really go onto that website. You have to have your stuff out by 7 o'clock, and there are some requirements on what you can and cannot put out. So go onto that website, see what it says, and get ready for that curbside pickup.
Very nice. HRG-recycling.com. That stands for Hennepin Recycling Group, a number of cities involved in that process. A couple final notes and reminders of things that are going on in the city. The Good Citizenship Award. You're still looking for nominees.
We are. We have until the 31st of March for those. We're always looking for ways to thank our citizens. So if you've got a neighbor, or even if you've been doing a lot of stuff yourself, you can nominate yourself, or you can nominate a neighbor. We really want to recognize those folks with a pin and having them at the council meeting. So the other thing you have until the 31st of March is the snowman contest. It doesn't look good. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but for those that got out there that when it snowed in October and made their little snowman, those people are going to be considered for the snowman contest. But in case it does snow again, get out there and do that.
And one final note to pass along, something to watch for in the next week or so is the State of the City video featuring you, the mayor, and also the city manager.
We did this a couple of weeks ago, but it takes a long time to get it put together, and then it has to come to the city, and they have to make sure the pictures are in the right places. So When we know, and it should be in the next couple of weeks, we'll let you know when it's going to be shown. What's nice about that, you can see all the wonderful stuff the city has done in 2023 and where we're going in 2024. So it's just very informative.
All right, keep your eye out, and we'll mention it here in our updates as well. That is it for today, but stick with us. We've got to look at some things coming up in the next couple of weeks with our calendar of events. Mayor Hemken, thanks for your time, and you survived without the bee getting you throughout the update here.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. See you then. Bye-bye.
All right, have a great week. Bye-bye. Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.